So this leading HR company comes to Depot. They're like, we don't want to manage our own GitHub action runners inside of our own AWS account anymore. It's costly, it's expensive, it's time consuming. Us as a platform team, we have so many other things that we need to go do. So when they first came to Depot, this was November, July of last year, I want to say. They were like, we want a taster. So we're going to start with like 10 million GitHub action minutes for the year. So then they onboarded into Depot. We set up a dedicated Slack channel with them, having constant conversations with them. And they're just chock full of like product and feature ideas for Depot. And we're like, yeah, this is exactly what you want when you're like collaborating with that size of customer. Because they're solving for a totally different, well, not totally different, but the size of the engineering team is large. So like this is a large engineering team that's looking to go faster. And then in November, so they signed a contract in July. And then in November, I get an email from the procurement team of like, hey, the team loves the product. We want to move up to 50 million minutes for the year. We want to do an early renew right now. And we want to go up to 50 million minutes for the year. And it's like, oh, wow, like that's fast. Like we just started this work in July. Then we start talking to them and then they're like, actually, we're going to move everything to Depot and we want 150 million minutes for the year. So they went from a contract of 10 or 15 million minutes or something like that they signed in November to, nope, this product is so good. We're going to get rid of all of the self-hosted stuff and we're going to go all in on Depot and we want a contract for 150 million minutes for the year. So that was like, oh shit. Because like it never crossed our mind. We were just working with them. We were just like making the product better and implementing the features of the ideas that they had. That of course like also solves problems for Depot's other customers. And behind the scenes, they were just like adopting more and more of Depot. And finally they made the decision internally of like, we're out of the self-hosted game. We're just gonna go all in on Depot. And signed that contract and they moved everything over. We had to build a few extra things for them, like macOS runners and things like that. And then the product feedback just kept coming. And they were like, oh, we use Turbo Repo. Like Turbo Repo doesn't really have like a good remote caching story. Seems like you guys can make cache so much faster. You all should think about that. And behind the scene, like we replied with like, oh yeah, like we're already building Depot Cache and Depot Cache is going to support Bazel and Turbo Repo and Gradle and SC Cache and Pants. Anything that supports remote caching today will be plugged directly into Depot's cache architecture with that product. And then we released that and they're like, great, now we can deprecate our own Turbo Repo remote cache that they were self-hosting. So this entire journey is like them deprecating and getting rid of all of the self-hosted stuff that they were having to maintain and manage. And then they adopted it. And I got this last week of, hey, yeah, we adopted it. We're using it all in CI. We're getting 12 million cache hits per day inside of CI using it. And that was so impressive that we've rolled it out to all of the engineering team locally. And that's what this dashboard is that's measuring the local stuff, which is how much time is an engineer saving. I think this is for a week. Yeah, it's for a week. So total engineering time saved is 77 hours using just the remote cache for Turbo Repo. Just Depot Cache, like not factoring in GitHub Actions or anything else. 77 hours. They have 105 engineers using the product locally. They track the cache hits over time. They're tracking the reduction in their build times for local builds. So they're saving 63% of build time locally by using Depot Cache. And then the real kicker is the cost savings. So like they're calculating cost savings. I'm not entirely sure what this metric is looking at. If I was to guess, they're using some like a nuanced of like take the average salary across an engineer and then times it by the hours saved or something like that. They've gone from, hey, we're just going to try this out to we're going to go all in on Depot and get off of anything self-hosted because Depot is so much faster and better.